Audio, welcome to another episode of Careers and Culture. It's great having you on my show. Coming from South Africa, how did you adopt a career in the accounting firm?
Accounting is something very close to my heart. From school, I really enjoyed accounting and business. So whenever I worked in a business or looked at it from afar, I always looked at the processes and thought to myself, how would I be able to improve it? Is there anything that maybe I could add or take out that will improve the business? And that process was constantly in the back of my mind. And I feel accounting gives you the numbers. And once you look at the numbers, you can really analyze the business and improve it. So that gave me a passion to analyze the business. So my accounting came from business analysis.
Coming from South Africa and traveling abroad internationally, you should have faced a lot of challenges. What were they and how did you deal with them?
Yeah, there's quite a few challenges that I encountered. Mostly due to compliance and the legislation. You have to constantly keep up to your compliance and legislation, so that's an ongoing process. By overcoming that, constantly studying, constantly keeping up to date. We have to meet our required continuing professional development hours. That helps us keep up to date with all current legislation and future legislation. So just reading and staying mentally sharp all the time makes me overcome challenges.
Traveling internationally and coming back to South Africa, how would you differ standards from South African standards?
With regards to auditing and accounting, South Africa is surprisingly ranked number one in the world. So our standards are much higher than everywhere internationally. This is quite unique because most other facets South Africa is quite behind. So we're actually industry leader with regards to accounting and auditing. So our standards are far higher than the rest of the world.
Okay, Audio, what defines you as a professional in SA and the levels that you have achieved?
In accounting, it's really important to pay attention to detail. So what defines me is that I spend a lot of time in building sustainable relationship with my clients. By this I mean I want to maintain my client relationship for long term instead of losing a client. So I spend a lot of time trying to maintain the client and keeping them happy. When a client is satisfied, he opens up more to you and you're available to, I'm there to offer him a more value-added service.
Seeing yourself in this field, does it really take passion to fulfill what you do?
Yes. So when times get tough, passion is what drives you. In terms of difficulty, I always ask myself why I started. And once I go back to my roots, I always come back with the solution to overcome any problem that may face me.
What was the highlight of your career?
The highlight of my career was having the opportunity to go abroad and work abroad and see how different countries conduct their business and bring back the tools and skills that I learned abroad to South Africa and implement them in this environment.
Can you take us through a bit of your background?
I've got a lot of inspiration from my dad, who was mayor of Pietermaritzburg. He was also partner at PricewaterhouseCoopers. He was a professor at the University of KwaZulu-Natal, Pietermaritzburg branch. And from him, he nudged me into taking up his subject, which was taxation. And from that, I moved into accounting and I learned a lot from him. So he molded me into becoming who I am, and he helped me choose my career. While he was the mayor, I also got the opportunity to meet Nelson Mandela at the City Hall in Pietermaritzburg. I met him when they gave Gandhi the freedom of the city in Johannesburg, and they also gave Nelson Mandela the freedom of the city in Johannesburg. So Nelson Mandela was present, as well as Mahatma Gandhi's grandchildren. So I had the opportunity to meet them, and meeting people like that really gave me inspiration into becoming who I am.
Now, through your father's eyes and through all his ventures, you must have learned a lot. Can you take us through a bit of that?
Yes, I learned quite a bit. He traveled extensively, and he was always involved with many politicians. So I had the opportunity to meet a lot of intelligent people who really gave me good advice and molded me, gave me the right values, and constantly gave me the direction to the career that I should choose, and constantly gave me like inspiration to make a difference in the world and create better opportunities for people around me, and be a motivator for other people as well.
What inspires you as a person?
I have a lot of role models who inspire me. One of them is Nelson Mandela and my dad. And I'm inspired by honesty in people, the ability to honestly express yourself constantly, and the ability to overcome challenges through adversity. So by overcoming adversities and challenges, I'm inspired to become a better person and to do better for South Africa and my business.
What motivates you as a person?
Motivation is setting goals, and once you set realistic goals and overcoming these goals give me motivation to set higher goals and constantly improve myself.
How do you see yourself 10 years from now?
10 years from now, I would see my business having grown to 6 locations, the existing one in Pietermaritzburg, one in Durban, Johannesburg, Cape Town, Bloemfontein, and Polokwane. I would have increased my client base significantly, increased revenue significantly, and most importantly, have grown a valuable relationship with clients who I can constantly add value to their businesses.
Okay, Adil, if you have to give our viewers motivational advice out there, what would you say to them?
The most important thing is to start, jump in with both feet, and as you come across challenges with faith and virtue, you can overcome anything. So constantly keep at it, never give up, and constantly try your best.
Adil, once again, thank you so much for having you on my show, and it was a pleasure having you and your time and learning about the accounting industry and how far you have come.
Thanks, Luitziq. It's always a pleasure.